and respect. It's what I tried to give you. And we'll keep it that way as long as you want it like that. Appreciate you.
Mm. Right? You need to scratch your head on that, John. Like, okay, Ryan. Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the shows. Back and forth between Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Clark. They've been going back and forth. Clark said this. I think Rodgers finally responded to Pat McAfee. Ryan Clark has something about McAfee. And really, at the end of the day, Ryan Clark just really feels like Aaron Rodgers is a bitch. And he's a hypocrite. You know what I mean? And
we've said that.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a little bit of proof in the pudding. But let's hear from the fellas themselves talking about what the hell is going on between them two. Let's go with Rodgers. Let's go with Rodgers respond, and then I think this is Ryan Clark's response to what Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show today, or was it yesterday? It was Tuesday. He comes on Tuesdays. All right, let's check it out.
Aaron
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh shit!
I just got a PSA. Just
okay.
a quick PSA.
All right. I thought we were.
Just a quick PSA reminder.
Started with 12, count down to 1.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get there.
12, got down to 1.
That's how you crown CFP National Champion.
Look at that.
Is that the PSA? That's a good PSA. It's a catchy jingle.
PSA is this. I know I got to say this multiple times for people because they don't listen, but say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't care. But just before you do it, whether you state your name, your accolades, pronouns, whatever it is, just state your vax status so that anything you say afterwards gets put in the right light. Just get it out there. Because then when you say things about me, people can at least be like, oh, you are captured by the multi-billion-dollar propaganda psyop, and you're still upset about it.
Okay.
This will help things
Just-
out.
Yeah, this is good. This will settle it all down. I appreciate that. And
Hey, you know what I mean? Just put that in just so everybody knows where you're coming from. Everybody knows, okay, cool. You're twice vaxxed Moderna with 3 booster shots. And then boom, boom, boom. Say what you want to say. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying a PSA. Just please help everybody out who's wondering, where is this coming from? Including myself. What the fuck is this coming from? But just give a little PSA. You do a little bit of digging, then you know where it's all coming from, right? You're captured, you're highly vaccinated, and then say whatever the hell you want to say about me, because I couldn't give 2 shits about it. All I care about is that you put that little disclaimer out there. Just like it's in the bottom for me, that I'm a champ, MVP, and I am enthusiastic about ayahuasca. Just put, instead of your accolades that you need to have out there, so desperately, just put your vax status as well, because you cared so much about it, during the COVID years.
all right.
So just put it out there on your bio when you're about on your shows or whatever. You don't just need a brooch with your initials.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Put your vax status on there too.
Okay. All right.
All right. I don't know what those shots were. Kind of, I understand what he's trying to say, but then kind of falls kind of short. I don't get it. But let's see what Ryan Clark said. I haven't listened to this.
So it was a little bit before this, right? So it got to be something before this.
Because I think this was yesterday, right? Yeah, this is 12. The clock.
But this goes back to last week.
Yeah, there was a lot more, but I don't think he's ever responded. I don't think Rodgers has really said anything until now.
But what was that? How was that responding to what Ryan said? Ryan pretty much called him whatever he called him at that time in response to what Aaron Rodgers was giving subliminals. Rodgers was giving subliminals about prior athletes now on ESPNs or major networks talking shit, and they don't have his accolades or blah 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 blah. And then they all like, well, who they talking to? Like, who they talking about? And it sounded like Ryan took it a little bit personal, and he kind of came right at Aaron Rodgers. But if this is your response to that, so you're saying what? You're a smarter person than him because Ryan took a vaccination versus you. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. But this was yesterday. This is the latest response, right? This is
Mm,
yesterday.
okay,
So this is the latest response from Aaron Rodgers. So like you
gotcha.
said, there was some filler earlier, right?
Mm,
Some context in the beginning of the conversation for sure, them going back and forth. But this is the latest response from Aaron Rodgers.
mm.
So I,
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I don't really get the response. I guess you know your vaccination, so you're really not that smart, or like you're a follower. I guess I don't know what because there's so many conspiracy theories about the vaccination. All right, well let's see what Ryan Clark had to say.
Here is why I called Aaron Rodgers, or why I called you a hypocrite. Because you're actually on ESPN talking
right.
about my fellow colleagues and the people I work with, saying that now, because they are former players and weren't as great as players of you as you were, you feel like, or they feel like they're the stars. And that's not it. TV has changed. It's more about opinion and the informed opinion of people who have played the game. What's hypocritical about what you said is you said it while on TV with Pat
Right.
McAfee, who has done an amazing job with this platform. And even though he was an all-pro punter, he's now extremely famous and more well-known for what he does in his post-career. Even more hypocritical of you is that you're sitting across from three people who have never played the game. And they are also entitled to talk about football in a very informed way, because if we've learned anything from Mina Kimes, you don't actually have to step on the field to be excellent at the job of analyzing football. And I spoke to that hypocrisy because you were getting paid to do that, which Pat said you deserve to. And that is why you received the money that you did, at least initially, because of what you brought to his platform. Now, let me be clear, because I know you want us to list these things. My name is Ryan Clark. Played 13 years in the NFL, been to 2 Super Bowls. I have as many rings as you do. I was the captain of 2 separate football teams. I'm also an Emmy winner. I'm also the co-host, owner, and partner of an Emmy-nominated podcast called The Pivot. Now, I know something else you were very interested in was my vaccination status. And yes, I'm vaxxed because I have no spleen, I have no gallbladder,
Right.
because of
Exactly.
playing in Denver and being willing to go back, honestly, and play again. Because I've been in those locker rooms, and I've talked to people that have been in the locker rooms with you. I have the stories. I have all the things that they said that informed my opinion of who you are. And as far as your vaccination status, so you can stop trying to trick people into thinking that we want to talk about that above the stink of your film, I've never heard it one more time after your incident. And the only reason we spoke about it then was because based on your vaccination status, it was going to determine how long you were out. And also, people didn't care that you weren't vaccinated. They cared that you were slimy about it. They cared that you were deceitful about it. And they cared that you had this air of arrogance when answering the questions about it. And you've kind of only been the only person that's talked about it since. But let me be very, very clear. My job is to analyze you. You've decided to analyze me. And in analyzing you, what I know is your QBR is 21st. Also know that you're the quarterback of a 4-10 team who has to win the last 3 games of the season to even be equal to what last year's team was without you. Now, I get it. You get on the show and you talk about my brooch and you curse and all this tough talk. I just need you to know, don't none of that scare me. I'm gonna do my job the way I'm supposed to do it. I feel no way about not being able to talk about what the film says because of what my career was. And if you continue to be arrogant or smug or hypocritical and it pertains to my job, I'm gonna do it. And I want to remind you again, I'm Ryan Clark. 13 years, Emmy winner, host of an Emmy-nominated podcast. And speaking of that jealousy and guest stuff, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Mike Tomlin, Devontae Adams, Joe Burrow, Shaq, just to name a few. No money, just relationships, conversations, and respect. It's what I tried to give you. And we'll keep it that way as long as you want it like that. Appreciate you.
Right? You need to scratch your head on that, John. Like, okay, Ryan, a little long-winded, but well worth it in complete control. And way he responded. Love his response, actually. I guess you see where the vax part comes from, or what Aaron was trying to say. I guess I still don't get it really.
That's just talking, not knowing your research, and you should know. We all knew. We all know Ryan has issues. We all know Ryan almost lost his life in Denver.
Right.
What you talking about getting vaxxed? You thought he wasn't going to get vaxxed? His life, he doesn't have a spleen like the man said. Like, I can't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like, what we're talking about? That's another thing about I'm saying this in a term of a person being so arrogant is Aaron Rodgers not being able to understand anybody else but himself. And that's a perfect example of that. And that, once again, that's why, like you said, you're a quarterback with a 21 QBR or whatever he said, and a losing team that has 4 wins. I was better off with Zach Wilson. Imagine that.
That's the crap. I forgot about that.
Better off with
Zach Wilson than they are with you and Devontae Adams.
You done got your head coach fired, your offensive coordinator fired, the GM fired. Damn near everybody got fired. A cancer.
He is a cancer.
And I think that was the funniest part about the whole thing with what Aaron Rodgers talking about ESPN analysts and personalities is that, bro, you're on ESPN right now, and the man that's got you on this show every Wednesday is the person you're talking about. Like, yeah, we knew Pat McAfee from his little bit of antics as a punter, and then an onside kick, and him being, kind of funny on the field. But we ain't know Pat McAfee really until he started this podcast show.
Until he started
now he's on ESPN. So anybody you disrespecting is the man that you sharing the platform with on his platform that you getting paid to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
getting paid to do. Yeah.
If that's not hypocritical, you are who they are.
Yeah.
So, in other words, listen, Aaron I guess is why he by himself. That's why he's a lonely person. I guess he got all the money in the world. God bless him.
Yeah.
And he can go and share that money in that dark room that he likes to go to during the off seasons. But,
can't see what you can't count.
Can't buy happiness, but he seems like he's happy. He's smiling. Beard look like it's trimmed. So I guess he's doing all right. But
yeah, we'll see. I think it's really interesting because back and forth, because it's not men talking. It's men talking through cameras. It's men talking through podcasts, right? It's almost like soap opera that we're watching through podcasts.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to respond. And not even that. He does this, and like you said, there's a lot of eyes, right? A lot of people watch Pat McAfee. A lot of people watch The Pivot. A lot of people watch ESPN. But the one thing I've seen from Ryan Clark is that he's going to be authentically himself wherever he goes. It doesn't matter wherever he's at and wherever he goes, and he's going to be like that. And I guess you could say that kind of a little bit about Rodgers, a little bit, kind of slimy, a little bit, but he's going to be Aaron Rodgers wherever he's at. You know what I mean? Arrogant, slimy, doesn't say the things correctly, but you don't know. I mean, maybe we find something about this Netflix special, right? Maybe we find something more about the man.
No, I promise you not. I promise you not. You're gonna find more. You're gonna be more sure about what you think about him is gonna be in this podcast.
I believe it.
This is really what it is.